They say there was once a woman who never wanted children, though she didn't know it herself until it was too late. Her name was Mira, and her children grew up as strangers to love, raised in silence and punished in darkness. I was her sister-in-law, so I saw it all, though I never knew the whole story until her children were grown. People said they saw her standing like a ghost, watching her children without warmth, her face empty. But that was just what people saw. They didn't know what happened behind closed doors. Mira was quiet, always was. She got married because it was expected. She had her first child, a son, but from the moment he was born, it was as though she'd given birth to a shadow. There was no tenderness, no kindness. When he cried, she would watch him without moving. When he wanted comfort, she would push him away with a cold hand, her face blank, as though he disgusted her. As he grew older, the punishments started. When he spilled his food, she would drag him to the toilet, lock him in for hours, and if he made a sound, she'd storm in with a thin iron rod, the kind used to hang laundry, and beat him until he was silent. No one heard him scream. She made sure of it. Then came her second child, a girl. Mira didn't care for her either. When the girl began to speak, her mother would glare, warning her to stay silent. When she grew old enough to walk, she would stumble, and Mira would grab her arm and slap her across the face, hard enough to bruise. Once she caught her daughter playing with her toys, humming softly to herself. Mira snatched her up, yanked down her clothes, and rubbed pepper on the poor girl's private parts. The girl screamed and screamed, but Mira only told her to stop being so foolish. The children grew up in shadows. They learned quickly to avoid other people because they'd never known kindness. Even as teenagers, they never smiled, never laughed. If someone spoke to them, they would look away, their eyes empty, their voices quiet. The boy was big and strong, but he never tried to join any games or make any friends. When he was asked why, he would only say, "Mama wouldn't like it." And as they grew, the marks of her punishments stayed on them, not just on their skin, but deep within. The boy was big, but he was afraid of every noise, every voice louder than a whisper. The girl was beautiful, but she feared the touch of others and avoided anyone who looked her way. They had no idea how to talk to people, no sense of who they were or what they wanted. By the time they were adults, they were shells of people. The boy tried to work in the village, but he could never hold a job. He'd lose his temper and push people away, too used to anger and pain to understand anything else. The girl tried to live on her own, but she couldn't keep a home, couldn't make friends. They drifted, strange and silent, just like their mother. When Mira died, her children stood by her grave without tears. They looked lost, unsure if they were meant to mourn her. Some say they never spoke to each other again. The boy wandered away one day and was never seen again, and the girl lived in silence, always alone. And so the villagers remember Mira and her children, a tale told to remind mothers that not every woman must bear children. Some hearts are meant for solitude, and when they are forced into motherhood, they create lives marked by shadows and silence, lives without love.